The Neapolitan sixth chord, which causes confusion among many music students, shows how musical terminology can be misleading. Classifying it as a sixth chord misses the essence of the sound. In fact, the chord is very easy to understand, as we will see by the end of the video. The characterization as Neapolitan also does little to clarify its meaning. Although it is of Italian origin, Carlo Gesualdo used it even further south before the Neapolitan composers Alessandro Scarlatti and Giovanni Battista Pergolesi. In their works, the chord is more of a melodic than a harmonic phenomenon. Johann Sebastian Bach used it as a harmonic device in the late Baroque period, followed by classical and romantic composers, most notably Mozart, Beethoven, and Chopin. Neapolitan vocal composers sought a particularly expressive means of making pain and despair audible. Only the sharpest dissonance could serve this purpose. The most frightening effect is achieved by the minor second in a place where it does not belong, namely as a low altered ninth. This interval gives the Phrygian scale its characteristic sound and is still considered the last remaining dissonance in jazz harmony today. Let's look at an example by Giacomo Carissimi from 1645. In his oratorio Jepht, he tells the story of the biblical warlord Jephthah, who promises God that he will sacrifice the first creature he encounters upon his return in order to secure victory. It is his daughter. In the oratorio, she bitterly laments her fate, and Carissimi interprets her exclamation "Oh woe" with a low altered second, an extreme means of expression in his time that could not yet be explained harmonically. In its most elementary form, this creates a complete 4-5-1 cadence, with the minor sixth being placed in the minor subdominant instead of the fifth. Melodically, the sequence is somewhat reminiscent of the enclosure technique popular in jazz, which involves playing around a target note with the upper and lower alternating notes. If we consider the minor subdominant with a minor sixth instead of a fifth, we see that the chord can also be understood as the first inversion of a chord in which the minor sixth becomes the root note. In degree theory, this is the deeply altered second degree. The chord is somewhat similar to a substituted dominant chord, but it has no seventh and therefore no tritone. If the Neapolitan third is in the upper voice, the character of the chord is blurred. What we hear then is a sixth-fourth chord, which has a strong major character. This can be illustrated by the example of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. This is exactly the case in bar 3. In bar 21, the deeply altered sixth is found in the melody and the expressive character of the chord is more strongly expressed. The effect was initially restricted to minor melodies. However, later composers also used it in a major context in the late classical and romantic periods. Its original motivation is completely lost in history. An example, the fifth last bar of Liszt's Liebestrom. Here, as in the first Beethoven example, the third is at the top, blurring the expressive character of the chord. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. At academia-larty.org, you will also find a knowledge database and online courses from our academy. And check out the other videos here on YouTube. Thank you for your interest.